Today I'm making this video for subscribers and commenters who requested about tips on passing my road test. So I'm gonna share you guys my road test experience, or what are the preparation that I made for this test. So number one is get lots of practice, like feeling comfortable behind the wheel of your car is one of the best way to prepare for your test. Example, I got my permit test last February 2017, and took me 6 months before I get the courage to take this road test, because this time I'm already sure of myself that I can pass this test. So number two is empty parking lots make great driver's test practice occasion. Yeah, I get a lot of practice in the parking lot, and as well as road that has no ongoing traffic. So that's where me and my husband practice and have the time doing this practicing, so I can get more comfortable about my driving. Number three is practice your parallel or your parking skills as much as possible. I mean, you should be very comfortable with parallel parking or parking uphill and downhill, because during my exam or my road test, the instructor asked me to do parallel parking and then parking uphill or downhill away from the curb, and then we also did a back maneuvering. So all those kinds of parking skills or techniques. And then number four is make sure that you are very comfortable with 2 to 3 point turn. Me and my husband also did that, like 45-degree turns, and then making the test on side of the road, doing this turns. And yeah, so number five is familiarize yourself with testing area. So although you don't know the places where the instructor will take you during the test, it's still advisable to, familiarize the places around your city or your town about the traffic or the signs. So like pay attention to the speed limits. Here in our city, our speed limits is 25 miles per hour, and also familiarize the road signs and potential hazards. And this way you will already know what to expect when you go in for your test. And number six is before the test start, the car will be inspected to make sure that it meets the minimum standard. So during my test, the car has been inspected when it comes to its brake lights, and then the turning lights, which is the left and right, and then yeah, those kind of, and then they asked me about my insurance and car insurance and your permit license. So those are the things that they will ask from you before the test start. And as a driver, number seven is adjust your mirror so that you can easily see the various road hazards. yeah, something like that. And then number 8 is review your hand signals and practice them until you are confident. My instructor asked me to perform the slowing down or stopping hand signal. And then he asked me to do left and right so that when things go wrong in your car and you didn't have any of this inside your car working, you can still perform those kinds of hand signals so that you will not get to harm or bother other um, drivers behind your wheels, or I mean at the back of your car on traffic. And then number 9 is gather up your test paperwork and put it all together by the front door. Yeah, that's where I put all the documents that I needed, like the car insurance, my permit, and the handbook, guide handbook of my car. That's where I put on the right hand side of the door of my car, so that at the very least you will need your permit and proof of registration and insurance for your vehicle. Additional paperwork will be needed. Make sure that it is ready to go and in a place that you won't forget. And 10 is if you need corrective lenses to drive, be sure to find them and be sure to take them to your test. So for me, I have no any restrictions because I have my good vision. I don't need any corrective lenses and all that. And then 10 is take a vehicle that you are comfortable driving and that you had plenty of practice in. So for me, as an experience, I did a lot of practice using my red car, but unfortunately during the test, during the day of my road test, instead of using my car, the instructor told me to use their car. So I get nervous because I never ever get to drive that kind of car. So I was like, I think I might fail this test because I never get to familiarize what's inside of that car. But anyway, I just get my self prepared for it. But still, I am lucky and I am just took the test safely because I think and just prayed I can pass this even if I'm driving the different car. So next is make sure that you understand the controls of the vehicle that you take to test. So see, I am so nervous that time because I am not really confident on the controls of that vehicle that I'm going to drive first time. But still, I was been instructed and get prepared by the instructor, and he's told me to make yourself comfortable for the controls before we hit the road. So yeah, he guided me and told me which is which, what are the needing to controls during the test. And yeah, just like 5 minutes and I say, okay, let's do it. And then the next is adjust your mirrors and then leave them there. So yeah, I do always adjust my mirrors where I am physically can see the back of my car and the ongoing traffic on my back, and also there's right and left mirrors. And then next is plan on getting to the test early. So for me that time, I need to take my practice, or not my practice, but my road test at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, because that's the only available time from the school or driving school that where I booked with. But it's fine, it's still light out that time anyway, and I have no problem at all. And next is wear your seatbelt. Yes, I think it's a big plus, and it's a big yes here in this country, that always wear your seatbelt. Yeah, before I start the car, I always make sure I already have my seatbelt on, and also so that the drive or the person that's going to sit next to me will also get ready before I start driving. And then next is during the test, pay attention. Pay to your surrounding, pay attention to the road signs and any potential hazards that can distract you during the test. And then when driving, hold on to the steering wheel with both hands at all times. Yes, since I'm a first time driver, of course, I always make it a point that my both hands is on the wheel, steering wheel all the time. You know, use proper hand placement and focus throughout the test. And next is, there are 2 acceptable ways to place your hands on the steering wheels. Like some people choose to keep their hands 10 or 2, and others up for 9 or 3. So I am just comfortable for 9 and 3, where I put my hands that way. I can steer the wheel just fine. And then is holding the steering wheel is so important during the test. Don't let go of the wheel when you are turning. It's not appropriate to let the wheel slide before your hands. And then don't stop too closely to vehicles in front of you when you need to come at a stop. Yes, of course, as a general rule, you should be able to see the tires of the car in front of you, you know. No tailgating. And during the test, do not cross solid lines, as this will result as an instant automatic fail. So those are the things that are really clearly instructed to my mind that I have to pass this, so I really make it clear. On many driving tests, you will be taken through an intersection with no right turn or red sign. So paying attention to all road sign is critical if you want to pass your test. Next is, when you come to a 4-way stop, pay attention to who arrives first. Yes, I practice that a lot, and it's very good that it helps me so much during my road test. And then when driving, to try to stay in the right lane as much as possible, because when you make a left hand turn into the left lane, wait until it's safe, then carefully change lanes into the right lane. And then of course, always look over your shoulder before changing lanes. Be sure to use your blinker. Yep. And then your test administrator will let you know if you should drive in any lane other than the right lane. So yeah, my instructor that time, he is the only one who talked the whole time when for me to turn, what am I going to do. So make sure you focused on what he's going to say. And then next is, don't be afraid to use your horn. Even though I never get to use the horn, still you should be able to practice your horn. Of course, this doesn't mean you should use your horn excessively. If you get into a situation where a car is too close or is trying to come into your lane, use your horn and let them know. Next is focus on your speed. You know, Maintaining a constant speed is important, but watch your speed signs and always observe them. Like when you're at the school zone and children's play area, and you have to reduce your speed, so pay attention. Next is only change lanes when you are absolute certain it is safe. Yes, always look on your mirror, and then always look at the back of your car before doing the change lane. So those are the 28 tips that I have in mind during my road test. So I hope you guys like this video, and I appreciate it if you ever comment and ask me down below for more questions, and I'll be glad to answer you. And thank you for keeping subscribing in this channel, and be safe ahead and drive carefully for those newly drivers out there. So see you guys, and thank you for watching. Have a good